I mean, wow, Monday does come up pretty damn quick. Yeah, wow, Monday does come up quick. Holy shiznits. We're gonna say shiznits because I'm trying to curb potty mouth.
Fuck that.
Oh, coffee's kind of colder than I had anticipated. Anyway, we're on chapter 7. It's Monday. We're on chapter 7 of Reaper Adventures, The Surge. Did I seriously still say that with all the utmost enthusiasm ever? And we're going to do the disclaimer, because disclaimer is important, especially if you think this book is kid-friendly, because let's just say it is so not kid-friendly. Nuh-uh. There's no sex scenes and no curses. Granted, I mean, like I said previously, I might curse, but that doesn't mean there's curses in the story. Besides, damn it, if you consider that to be a curse. Anyway, there's no sex scenes, there's no curses, but there's mention of self-harm, which I believe we got through. There's the scene of the aftermath of slasher movie violence gore, with blood everywhere, like... blood. Just lots of blood. Has a scene of murder by a serial killer. We already passed the scene of murder by the demon, which was last chapter, which was chapter 6, which started on page 66. I still find that funny. And there is a scene of abuse, which we've passed, and later on there is a scene of torture. So if you really want to continue, I suggest you do so at your own risk. This is a short chapter. There's really no violence. There's just, like, Payne's doing his janitorial work at the psych ward, and he has the conversation and realizes that the town's never going to be the same again. So really no action, no violence, no nothing. Just kind of a lull, sort of, maybe. Anyway, let us continue after I have my kind of cold coffee. It's warm enough. Anyway, chapter 7, short chapter. So let's continue. Chapter 7. And forewarning, I do believe this is called Insane with Apache featuring Tech 9. Just saying that. So we'll continue now. Chapter 7. The malice didn't fade. It had been 2 days since the disappearance of the unknown female patient, and a day since the suited man, who had been in the psych ward, had been transferred to somewhere. Staff didn't say where when Payne asked what had happened. Payne wasn't even sure why he had asked about the odd-suited man in the first place. Payne guessed it was because he had hoped to ask the suited man about the ever-present growing malice that now blanketed the entire town of Jeromeson. However, with the creepy odd-suited man now gone, there was no one to answer the question that was now continuously nagging Payne. Payne did his tasks in the psych ward, not really paying anyone any mind, until one hushed conversation caught his attention. Yeah, I don't know the song, so I don't know. I can't mention if I don't know. Until one hushed conversation caught his attention. How did he even manage to get his hand through her chest? One of the patients asked in a quiet voice. Payne blinked and looked up from what he was doing and located the individuals conversing with each other. I don't know. It's not humanly possible. He broke her ribs like they were nothing and squeezed her heart to a literal pulp. The other patient replied in a whisper. Then is it a good thing they transferred him to a maximum security for the criminally insane? The first patient questioned in a soft, hurried voice. I'm trying to make sure that you hear my voice. That's why I'm speaking a little louder than what they would speak. So, I don't think so, the second patient answered. Payne resumed his task, quietly thinking to himself, making sure none of his thoughts were spoken out loud. I mean, that wouldn't be a good thing in a psych ward. Even though we all do it at some point in our lives, he's cleaning a psych ward. Though the constant nagging question on his mind had shifted to, is the malice causing what's going on? What is going on anyway? Payne couldn't help but wonder if the wrongness, the malicious whatever, was behind what was occurring. However, Payne had no idea, and now he had no one to get answers from. He only knew that there was a malicious thing apparently breathing down the back of everyone's neck. If it were a tangible person, Payne could picture them squeezing the life out of someone as they turned around and watching the person with sick, sadistic pleasure as the life would fade and the person's struggles would weaken, slow, and eventually cease. And that's just his mental comparison, so it's not technically what's going on. It's just that comparison. It was a horrible comparison, but Payne couldn't help that all-too-true comparison from searing itself into his brain. Payne hoped that the malicious entity would be gone tomorrow. However, he doubted it would leave. The thought that Jeromeson would be forced to have to grow to tolerate the malice made Payne suddenly realize that Jeromeson may never be the same. Okay, good. Even if the malicious entity did leave. There had been slasher movie gory victims, whose funerals were still occurring, a patient who had somehow survived the slasher movie gore only to vanish into thin air, and apparently the suited man, who Payne had intended to question, had pulverized someone's heart without any type of indication or warning, and he had apparently done so with ease. Jeromeson, Payne now knew, would never be the same quiet, uneventful, boring and peaceful town it had been. Please forgive me, I must have coffee. Still slightly warm. I should have warmed it up a bit more, but, yeah. Anyway, continuing. The crimes that had been committed by the unknown individual of slasher movie gore and the known creepy suited man would forever remain in Jeromeson's history. The townspeople of Jeromeson would forever be scarred by these gut-churning, horrific occurrences. I am going to warn you, this is a short chapter. It is actually very short, considering, so we're almost done with it. I did give warning in advance for that. Continuing. Generations down would know of these crimes, breathing them in a whisper, as if speaking of them any louder would summon the malicious entity back to do more horror movie crimes. Because horror movie crimes are always what people think of when they think of, like, people killing each other. Just blood everywhere, but that's not always the case. I'm letting you know that. Anyway, continuing. Only the stupid and bold would speak of these slasher movie gore crimes loudly. Oh, we know this one. This is Apache, Lord and Master. This one I know. The last one I didn't. Anyway. Gore crimes loudly, daring in the stupid way stupid people knew, for the malicious entity to return. I don't know if we remember the beginning. Yeah, we're gonna remember that. Jeromeson, once viewed as the quiet, small, peaceful, and boring town, would now forever be known as the town with the dark past. I mean, yeah. With everything that occurred in the few days, yeah. The horrible realization of that fact settled in Payne's already dropping and knotted gut. He began to think of the future generations, nagging those, like himself, about what it was like to live through the dark time of Jeromeson's past. 'Cause, yeah, stuff like that doesn't disappear. Then the horrible thought of, what happens if no one is safe, crossed Payne's mind. Though Payne tried to shove that question away and barricade it under lock and key, it had already taken root. Deep down, Payne already knew that no one was safe in Jeromeson anymore. And no, as I said, extremely short, but, we're just gonna have to deal that there's no 2-chapter special. Anyway, I know, I'm being annoying. I'm being, a meanie. I don't know where that came from, but we'll go with it. Continuing on, Chapter 8 is next week. Do continue at your own risk. The disclaimer has been already said, but if anyone is interested, I do have some accounts. I have to add some things to certain accounts, but that's something I'll get around to. I have a Wattpad account, which is at Tempesta771. A TikTok account, which is at AirdrainCraven2. Yay! But there are no uppercases and no spaces. It's just at AirdrainCraven2 under the name Tempesta Braveheart, which is my YouTube account name. And no, I'm not explaining. I don't think I ever will, but maybe later on in the future, if I ever decide to, I will. But for now, no, don't ask. I have an Instagram account, which is Tempesta Braveheart. all lowercases, no spaces, under the name Erdrin Craven, which is my Facebook. I don't know why I always mention I have a Facebook when if I don't know you, I won't accept your friend request. So if I don't know you, don't expect me to accept your friend request. Yeah, it's me, not you. I have a Snapchat account, which is Erdrin Craven, all lowercases, no spaces, and yeah, we're watching my YouTube, and Chapter 8 is done. No, Chapter 8's next week. Chapter 7 is done. I get those so confused. Chapter 7 is read, Chapter 8 is next week. Woohoo!
Need blonde hair dye.
Ah, fuck the blonde hair dye. I want blonde on the inside. I don't need to advertise. Anyway, yeah, I need to drink coffee. 'Cause coffee. I'm gonna say this now. Peace out, Girl Scouts, and enjoy the mental hilarity.